Hi, my name is Connor Long, and I'm a veterinarian, or was about to become a veterinarian. I'm a fourth-year veterinary student at UC Davis, and our graduation was set for May 22nd, right before the coronavirus outbreak happened. So our graduation's postponed. Those of us who were set to go out to internships and jobs, unclear when that'll happen. It'll happen eventually, but lots of uncertainty. In the meantime, we are quarantined in our homes. I know I'm going a little bit stir-crazy. Cabin fever and whatnot, looking for things to do, so I thought it's been a little over a year since I planted this vivarium for my pet panther chameleon Spicoli, and I thought that I would show people who might be interested how to build a similar enclosure for their reptiles. So here's Spicoli's enclosure, and I just want to give the specs for anybody who's interested in maybe trying to make something like this. So this is an extra large, extra tall Exoterra, which is 36 inches by 36 inches by 18 inches. And it has pretty good ventilation. You can see down here at the bottom, I've actually pulled out this plastic strip here to create more ventilation, and I have put this fiberglass screen over it so that little feeders can't get out. There's also a nice, decent gap in between the wall and the door, and actually in between the doors themselves, which also increases airflow. I also have some computer fans built into my fluorescent lighting system, which is nice. So ventilation is adequate for chameleons. I've kept Spicoli in here for years without incident. For lighting, I am using a regular incandescent it's a 150 watt grow light from Home Depot as a heat bulb. This is on a Zoomed thermostat, which will turn off when it gets too warm. I also have a regular LED bulb, 5000K for spectrum, which you might use in like a fixture in your house. And then I have two spotlights. I guess they're floodlights technically, with a 60-degree beam angle. And what that does is that allows me to grow these nice understory plants, because you really pretty quickly decrease the foot candles that you're able to get to the bottom of your vivariums when you have tall vivariums, and so you need a focused angle if you're going to try and grow understory plants like this. And then for my fluorescent light, I have this, I believe it's an Odessa quad T5 fluorescent with one UVB light and three 6000K fluorescent lights to increase the overall foot candles in the enclosure. And as you can see, right now they're off for the purpose of filming, but as I flip them on, it becomes incredibly bright in there. Chameleons are weird. They do not drink out of bowls. They need to drink off of leaves and moving, dripping water. To accommodate Spicoli, I have a Mist King system that I set to go off twice a day for 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes at night, and then it goes off at other times during the week that I've set somewhat randomly. And I also have this dripper that I will fill up in the morning that will manually drip water down onto these leaves so he can drink in between mistings as well. And in order to accommodate pumping so much water into this enclosure, I have beneath the setup in this little alcove here, this is just an old enclosure that I keep supplies in, I have a wastewater on the right that I can siphon out water in the drainage layer, and then on the left I have my actual water reservoir that I fill up with RO water, and the Mist King system controller, which is kept down here as well, that pumps the water from the reservoir up into the actual cage. Alright, so here is my false bottom. I have it sort of labeled here. And you can see that the bottom layer is our drainage layer. I will try and link to a better explanation of this. And we have our drainage layer, we have a separation layer, and we have our actual substrate. The substrate is where the plants grow. I am using Hygralon or Leica. They're just clay balls that are used for hydroponics. I actually have a egg crate false bottom as well. This is just hiding the egg crate false bottom. I will link how to make an egg crate false bottom. For an enclosure this size, I would recommend that type of false bottom because it's not as heavy and you don't need as many of the clay balls. For a separator, I am using a fiberglass mesh, and then for the substrate, I'm using a sort of homemade ABG mix. I'll try and link to something that explains how to make that too. And then you can see that I have the back of the enclosure, the substrate sloped up. That helps create plants in the back of the right before the coronavirus outbreak happened. So now I'm literally super crazy. Alright, so that's the enclosure overall. Other things I'd like to mention, the background is a scene from the Costa Rican cloud forest that I took a picture of when I was there back in 2015. I had it blown up on film and attached to the back of the enclosure, and I actually have LEDs behind it to backlight it so it looks like a skyline at certain times during the day. I like that effect a lot. I think it turned out well. I also have 50 different species of live plants in the enclosure. All of the plants that you see are live, and I have orchids blooming for the first time since I planted it, which is pretty cool. Spicoli has been doing really well. At any time I keep several different types of insect feeders for him. His favorite are stick insects, though they don't make up the majority of his diet because I don't think they have much nutritional value. He gets dubia roaches and superworms as sort of the main feeders because they're the easiest for me to get. I also give him calciworms, which are the black soldier fly larvae, and hornworms when they're around, and I will raise my own silkworms to feed him as well. Additionally, I'm using tropical springtails and isopods for my cleanup crew. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it can give some inspiration to folks who are considering trying to build something like it for their pets. Thanks, and have a safe quarantine. Bye, everybody.